Hello, welcome to Bradley's Maths. This video supports worksheet 1.6 using a calculator from my Number for GCSE series of worksheets, which are available on my website www.bradleysmaths.co.uk. This is the first of 3 videos supporting this particular worksheet. To get the most out of this video, you need to have the calculator you will be using during your examination. This should be a standard scientific calculator with fraction and time calculation keys. Programmable calculators are not allowed in the examination, and therefore I do not recommend you using one during your GCSE studies. If you do not have a scientific calculator with you, then I suggest you pause the video and go and get it. I'm not going to use an emulator, neither am I going to video me using my calculator. I have an image of a fairly standard calculator on the screen, and I will use this to show which keys you should be pressing to get the correct result. You should work along with me to ensure that you're following the steps in each of the calculations. Your calculator understands the priority of operations as we discussed in my last video, but sometimes it needs your help to understand the question properly. We're going to start with a very simple calculation, 4 over 2 plus 3, which is on the screen now. I want to look at this 3 here. When we enter this calculation into our calculator, the calculator knows that the 2 is part of the denominator, but it doesn't know that the 3 is part of the denominator. It can't possibly know that unless you tell it. If you enter 4 fraction 2 plus 3, it will assume that this means 4 over 2 with the plus 3 being separate. What it will assume is this: 4 over 2 plus 3. And for this particular question, because of the way it's written, this would give a wrong answer. Okay? It's really important that you understand that. You have to put brackets in here in order to be able to make sure that the calculator understands what the question is asking. So many times you will have to add brackets into questions when you're using your calculator. It's something you need to get used to. I'll give you a simple rule for it in just a minute. So when we do this, you are going to get one of 2 answers. And the answers are going to be 0.8 or 5. And obviously, they cannot both be right. Okay? We will find out which the right one is shortly. So, what have I done? Get rid of that. The correct way to answer this question is like this. Now, use your calculator alongside what I'm doing. It is 4 fraction, open bracket, 2 plus 3, close bracket, equals. So what you have done is this: 4 fraction, open brackets, 2 plus 3 equals, and you have got the answer on your calculator screen, 0.8. Okay, and this is correct. All right, so you have to make sure that you put the brackets in to give you the correct answer. So when do we put the brackets in? If you're using fractions and you have two or more values in the numerator and or two or more values in the denominator, you must use brackets to ensure that your calculator understands the context of the question. Let's move on. Evaluate. Evaluate means work out the value of 19.1 times 4.9 all over 203 divided by 9.8. This is much more the kind of problem that you might get on an exam paper. So I'm going to give you a pro tip first of all with this, because this is really important. Whenever you get something as complicated as this, always do one significant figure approximation first. Okay, so let's quickly do that. 19.1 is approximately 20. 4.9 is approximately 5. 203 is approximately 200. And 9.8 is approximately 10. Our calculation then becomes 20.5, 20 times 5 on the top. Our 19.1 times 4.9 comes 20 times 5, and the bottom line 203 divided by 9.8 is approximately 200 divided by 10. So we have 20 times 5 is 100, 200 divided by 10 is 20, and 100 divided by 20 is 5. Okay, now I'm going to go through the process of entering this into your calculator. So get your calculator ready and try and follow along with me. Okay, we start with open brackets. 19.1 times 4.9 close bracket. Okay, so we've opened brackets and we've closed them. That's the top line done. So now we're going to move on to the next line. So we either put in the divide key, the divide key, which is here, or we put in the fraction key, which is here. I'm going to put the fraction key in, so we press fraction, open brackets, 203, 203, divided by 9.8, close brackets, equals. And you should get as your answer, 4.518137,931, and this equals, or no, it doesn't equal. Let me just rub that out, because saying this equals, that is wrong. This is approximately equal to, with one significant figure, is approximately equal to 5, and notice that's what our approximation came to, 5. So there is a very good chance that this is correct. Okay, the pro tip is super important, And if you get a totally different answer here, then you need to be saying, well, have I done my approximation right? Did I press my keys right? Maybe you pressed 1.91. Maybe instead of 203, you pressed 20.3. It's very easy to make a mistake when you're entering keys. Maybe instead of putting in the divide key, you put in plus. There are many, many, many different mistakes that you can make. So please be very careful with them. Okay, let's move on. This time, I've put a very, very simple question up, and I'm sure that some of you will be able to do this in your head. This is the square root of 8 squared plus 6. If you're doing this in your head, let's just quickly go through it now. 8 squared is 64. 6 squared is 36. 64 plus 36 equals 100. And the square root of 100 is 10. Okay, but we're going to do it on the calculator. And the reason we're doing it on the calculator is just to show you how we put this in. If we just put in square root 8 squared plus 6 squared, the square root of 8 squared is 8 and 6 squared is 36. 8 plus 36 is 44. And that is what it will give you as an answer. What you have to do is tell it that this 6 here belongs under the square root sign. Okay, let's go ahead and do the calculation. So we start with, well, let's start with showing you where the keys are. This here, this is the square root key. This is the squared key. Okay, you may in questions later on use this one, which is whatever number to the power of whatever power. So if you wanted 8 to the 4th, you would put 8, this key, 4. This is the x cubed key up here. And that's really all I need to show you at the moment. So let's go through this calculation. We start with square root, open brackets, 8 squared plus 6 squared, close brackets, equals. And you will get the answer. If you followed along, you will have got the answer 10. And 10, of course, is correct either way that you did it. The reason I've used such a simple one is because using a complicated one would just make things more difficult for you to follow. So we've done it very simply. And there we are. That's the first video finished. Thank you for watching. Please give me a like and subscribe. New videos are being added almost every day. So please like and subscribe so you know when they're added. And please visit my website, www.bradleysmaths.co.uk. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to use the time calculation key. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye.